What's up, everybody? JWMaher with Why We Love Horror, and that's Aaron Brooks with Why We Love Horror. And this is Why We Love Horror, episode, I think, 108. How you feeling, Aaron?
Yeah, feeling pretty good. Excited to begin a review earlier too. Earlier than usual for us, so that's fun. Another Stephen King adaptation. I think number 3 on the year, at least 2.
Yeah.
Maybe
There's been a couple.
I guess just this Life of Chuck.
Yeah, we didn't really cover Life of Chuck, but yeah, I mean, Life of Chuck isn't really, whatever. Yeah, definitely. You're right. You're right. Technically. And technically, actually, this movie, I mean, this story was not a Stephen King story, though he did write it. He wrote it under his pseudonym, Richard Bachman. It was one of the Bachman books, one of the 5 Bachman books, as I flex my Stephen King knowledge. If you don't know, if you didn't click on the thumbnail, you know we're talking about The Long Walk, which is probably one of my favorite novellas of Stephen King ever. So I was excited to see this. What were your initial thoughts prior to seeing it? Had you read the book?
No, I avoided it. I'll read it tomorrow. But I knew like the basic premise of this movie. I knew it was about a bunch of people walking in dystopian America where they're walking. I didn't know why they were walking, but they had to walk and couldn't go under 3 or 4 miles an hour. I think 3 miles an hour in the movie because that's just easier to film and more realistic than I'm glad they did that. I know that in the book it's like 4 or 5 miles, whatever. 3 is watchable. So, and then if they go under that, it's basically like Speed, but with a bunch of young kids and getting shot instead of a bomb.
Right. Yeah, there's a few big differences between the book and the movie. There's a few small differences. What you mentioned, it's 4 miles an hour in the book. It's 3 miles an hour in the movie. Like every 30 seconds, they give you a warning if you drop below. In the book and in the movie, it's just really quick. It's like 10 seconds, boom, boom, boom. So it really, for filming it, drama purposes, it works. And then I'll go over all the other differences as we go through everything.
Yeah.
I think right off the bat, you said it, and then I couldn't unsee it. Cooper Hoffman is a great young actor, but he does not look like an athlete at all.
No, I mean it's distracting in this movie. Being honest, because I really like Cooper Hoffman as well. I think he's miscast.
He's there with the kid from Karate Kid Legends, David Johnson, looking jacked as fuck. Like the other guy that played Stebbins, what's his name? Garrett Waring, also jacked as hell.
The Kenyan kid.
Yeah, Tut Nyot.
It's just he stands out, and I'm not sure. I haven't listened to any or read any reviews, but I'm not sure if other people are noticing this or if they're just kind of blind because they do love Philip Seymour Hoffman and Cooper Hoffman. Cooper Hoffman's very good at the role, but it doesn't make any sense. Like at some point I was waiting for the flashback where someone's going to be like, Cooper, Ray, you're kind of fat. Like you shouldn't do this. Like this, like there's nothing with strength here involved. Like, everybody else is in really good shape here. Everybody else is, body fat is under 10%, and it's like, Cooper Hoffman was in good shape. I'm not trying to body shame him. I'm just saying, like, he doesn't even get sweaty in this movie for a big guy. Like, he's jiggling. Yeah, and he's 178 pounds to David Johnson's character, who I'm blanking on his character's name, but
McVrees.
Who says 177. So I'm not sure if that was an attempt at humor, but yeah.
Yeah, and we're making it sound like it's a huge deal.
No, I'm making
it's not. It's just like Cooper Hoffman, like I said, fantastic actor, nails all of the emotional parts. He just doesn't look the part in comparison to everybody else. Everybody else shows up like for a cross-country meet, and he shows up for a Magic the Gathering tournament is pretty much what it looks like. Yeah. But nitpick aside, let me toss some spoilers. We don't say anything by accident.
Yeah, that's a very small Aaron nitpick, but I brought it to your
and you'll once Aaron said it, I couldn't unsee it for the whole movie. Didn't ruin the movie. Not to spoil that, but it is glaringly obvious.
Yes.
The other concern I think we had going in was, would Mark Hamill Mark Hamill this movie like he did Life of Chuck. And
Mm.
while some effort was made, I think the character he played as I guess he's the antagonist, for lack of a better word. He's the face of the fascist government.
Yeah.
He's definitely like full on like voice actor Mark Hamill in this movie.
Yes.
Yeah,
A lot of sack talk.
yeah.
A lot of sack talk. He's not in it very much, so he can't really screw up what he is in it. And like, I wasn't expecting this to be my complaint coming out of it with Mark Hamill, but we needed more of his story. We needed more of his characterization because something was just kind of missing, and it became very one-dimensional villain. And then with how it's resolved with him, I was like, oh, not in a good way, shocked. To say the least. And we'll get to it by the end. I don't want to like jump around here. This is a pretty like easy movie to go through because like another one of my concerns going in was the repetition of the nature of the plot. And it did get a tiny bit repetitive because like you started to notice when like there was like, you know, the long-haired native character who like hadn't talked in like 45 minutes. All of a sudden he's like singing, you know, a song, and like he's like going dancing. Like then there's a guy shitting himself. Then there's a guy with the broken like ankle. Then there's the, you know, the cramp guy, the seizure guy. Like they're one of every animal or two of every animal makes it on the Noah's Ark, and it gets a little bit formulaic, but it still works. It's just by that point in the movie, I think my expectations of where this was going to go, like blowing my mind, wasn't where this was going to go. It was going to be a more ironically straightforward journey, and it was just which of the two was going to come out on top at the end.
Before we jump into that, like I'll go through like a few of the things. Like I'll go like through my take on it and the differences between the novel and this movie. Like I think that they do I mean, if you're into like effect, I mean, there's some CGI headshots, right? But I would say they're done very well. There's a lot of like creative. They get creative with it. Like some people lose their minds and like they go because there's rules. Like obviously you can't drop below a certain mile per hour. You can't step off the road. Can't attack the soldiers, obviously. And they explore the space as narrow as it is. They paint it wall to wall. And a lot of the death scenes are fucking brutal. Like they're just like, and then a lot of the later ones when like you've been with these characters for like an hour and a half, like when Ben Wang Olsen, the kid from Karate Kid Legends, goes, it's like it's legit. Like the score works, the acting works.
Sorry,
Baker Tutniot, the guy that plays Baker.
Yeah.
I'd never seen him in anything before, and now I want to see him in more stuff. That guy's good.
Yeah, no, and you brought up the score. I really like the score when it's in this movie. It's really underused, and it does make it effective when it is in use, I guess. But I think, if anything, the score could have been used a little more.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Those are the times where I never like even welled up with this movie either, which I was kind of expecting as I went along because I really did love like these characters quite a bit, but it never quite got me. But when it almost did a few of the times, it was with the score, particularly with Olsen at the end of his journey. I think a lot of his jokes fell flat, but at the end when he's just so pathetic, it really I think hammers it home the most. I also thought the long-haired guy, I can't think of his name.
Barkovich.
Yeah, Barkovich was really good in this movie.
Charlie Plummer from National Anthem.
Yeah,
playing a totally different character from National Anthem. He's like a friggin' sociopath.
And he's got some cool like little quirks to him with the camera and stuff like that. It's like I wanted more of that. Another thing that was a big problem for me with this movie as I'm thinking about it is there was like one or two negative or people out for themselves there. Everybody else was like really all about keeping each other alive. And like, it was hard for me to completely buy that everybody was going to just become brothers like this. Like, it was just like, there was only like one or two guys who was like, fuck them. Like, everybody else was like almost killing themselves to, and I get that's part of the message, but I didn't buy it completely. And I was like, it seems like there'd be a little more of a mix of like these like altruistic with the shitty, especially in this day and age, especially with it being a lottery people entered and why they entered it. But instead, they just drew like the altruistic bunch with like a couple bad apples who are like, how could you be a bad apple? Come on now.
Yeah.
Like, I think if I was in this situation, I'm not sure I'd be a Ray or a, sorry.
Yeah, I guess not either. But I think one of the things too, and this is like for fans of Stephen King's novel, there in the novel there's 100 kids in the Long Walk, and in this there's less than 50. So they combine a bunch of characters, they move traits from one character to another. So some characters are amalgams, definitely, of a bunch of different characters from the book. And it does create some confusing stuff, I guess, but it works. And then the biggest thing, and this will be the biggest spoiler, is if you know how the book ends, you do not know how this movie ends, because they absolutely flipped the script, which is weird, but it worked.
Yeah, I mean, and we get, I guess, we fast forward to the end. There's a part towards the end where Ray sees his mom, and he almost goes off the road there, and
which in the book, it's his girlfriend. There's no mom. It's his girlfriend. Yeah. But same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But like, it's just like, okay. I was just like.
Judy Greer also acting her ass off for the 5 minutes she's in the
5 minutes she's in the movie.
Yeah. And just like going nuts.
Getting that women off screen, mostly on a phone roll.
Yeah.
But, so that was, another part of it. And then, it ends up being, David Johnson, who's the best part of this movie, as everybody says. He gets to live because he's the best actor, I guess, in the movie. He has some really good moments along the way. The Stephen King kind of life musings, I think, do like blend really well into this, surprisingly, when they are, going on, taking the moment, enjoying, even in the terrible times, talking about how towards the end of the life, those moments are the most kind of important type of thing. I thought that was really like well done, to be honest. And it made me really fall in love with this character. And then, he makes it to the end, he asks for a carbine. And like, I just don't understand how the general just like sits there and just is like, he's not going to do it because money. Yeah. Like, I guess, we have Leon Prater part 2 here.
I was just going to say that's what Leon Prater said.
Yeah. Capitalism is bad.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I guess the general is just like, oh, so much money. Everybody has that price that he's not going to shoot me. But it's like, there's got to be a certain point where he's like, oh shit, he maybe unload the carbine. He just asked for the carbine. He didn't ask for the magazine. Like,
the soldier's even like, you sure? He's like, yeah, give it to him. Fuck him.
Yeah, he won't do it.
Yeah.
But what if he does?
Yeah.
Okay. Like,
and it should be noted that was what Garrity wanted to do. But Garrity like sacrifices himself, which is weird because he's the main character like of the movie. Like it's from his perspective.
Right.
He sacrifices himself for like the secondary protagonist.
That is true. That's what he does mention. That's what his wish was going to be, right?
Yeah. Because because in the backstory, the major killed Garrity's father for like basically the plot from Fahrenheit 451.
Yes.
Like he showed his kid books he wasn't supposed to read and music he wasn't supposed to listen to. And you'll get killed for that in this world.
And I will say one more thing on the music. America the Beautiful plays at the end, and like it's like a really great use of that. Because like when you do that like in a movie, it's like very cliche often. For some reason, it worked here for me with the fireworks and everything. I don't know if it's the week in the news and everything. Like it was a weird week to see this movie for sure.
Yes.
Like it hits differently. It feels like we're getting closer to this by the day.
Yeah.
Like, unfortunately, Like it really feels like in like 10 years we're gonna be like, man, that was really prophetic.
Remember when it was just a movie?
Yeah, like and I know kids weren't getting ready to do that. Like it's really kind of scary how like believable this is, and like when like general's like spouting off his reasons for like why this exists and everybody's watching your inspirations. It's like, oh my god, like I can
like the funny like I guess I don't know if it's foreshadowing or just a coincidence. Like when they're like legitimately like they're walking towards the end of the race and Mark Hamill's up there like, come on boys, it's the end, you're gonna sack up, and they're like, fuck you motherfucker, I'm gonna fucking eat your fucking balls. And he's like, that's the spirit. Like,
he's like, there, right. Yes, yeah. It's just like, and like pointing out like the people watching along the way. It's for one, it's like really sparse. So it's like good little world building and without spelling out that we're fucking like the population's dissipating. Yeah. Like basically it shows doesn't tell. You can tell that with like, Lawrence, this is not his first, post-apocalyptic movie. I think it was a really good choice for director and everything like that. So I know I've spent a lot of this movie kind of poking fun at some of the parts that stuck out to me. But overall, like I really think this was a very, impressive movie. I think the directing is, rather strong in the movie. Like this, like they're moving the entire time. Like that, I just gotta imagine that was not easy.
And I gotta say, between this and Strange Darling, get JT Mulner to write your fucking movie. Just hire JT Mulner to write your goddamn movie.
Very true. I didn't know he wrote it until
he can write. The dude has it. Mm-hmm. So that's my endorsement of JT Mulner.
Yeah, I don't think there's much more we can cover with this. I think
we're ready for some ratings, I guess. Yeah. Let's do that. Aaron, go ahead.
I picked on this movie a lot, but in spite of all those things that kind of stuck out at times, I thought this was a really good movie. Cooper Hoffman, you are not 178 pounds, sir. I get it. Like for the movie, like let's go ahead and mention it, but I'm not going to punish it too much. This is 4 videotapes for me. I think this is a good year for Stephen King adaptation. This is the second best Stephen King adaptation, and it got 4. So I just love The Life of Chuck, but this is very good as well.
I would say, again, Cooper Hoffman, we love you, but like, I guess they can't put Mason Thames in every movie. So 4.5 for me because I love this story. They messed with it a lot, but like none of it took me out of it. Like I was like, oh, that's different. Oh, that's different. Oh, that's different. But I was never like angry about it. So that's good. So I'll go 4.5. I just love. I have loved this story since I was a child. So I can't say anything bad about it. But that'll do it for Why We Love Horror this week. If you made it this far in the video, like, comment, subscribe, share, tell friends. Go to the Facebook group at Why We Love Horror. That's where we're at. You can find us easily there. Or go to the Letterboxd challenge. You can find all our letterboxes through there. See what we're watching. Watch along with us, however it works. The schedule, Sunday, Why We Love Horror TV. Maybe.
We'll be back.
Yeah, I guess we're coming back. Monday, Versus. Tuesday, Why Liv Loves Horror. Wednesday, Aaron Unwinds. Thursday, the Why We Love Horror Letterboxd Challenge Watch Along show. And Friday, you get 2 episodes of Why We Love Horror trivia every week because we're dedicated. But until next time, I'm JWMaher, and that is Aaron Brooks. We'll see you whenever we do Why We Love Horror next.